In this video, I'm going to talk about the most difficult parts in the thing. So you could break it down into two main sections, which is the staircase going down and then later the staircase going back up. But there's a couple of things that happen before and after, especially the staircase going back up, that makes it difficult. So we'll talk about the staircase down first. So I think part of what makes this bit frustrating is the enemies just don't stop spawning. I don't know if it's like you have to get to a certain point for them to stop spawning, but I found if I stood in the middle of the staircase here, these little head crab type enemies just constantly one spawn in front and behind. The one that's like green that fires the slime balls, it will, if it hits you, it'll like slow you down. Like the slime like makes your walk or run speed like half. And what happens is if you try and push forward, there's a massive spawn and then you get stuck with the green slime. That then slows you down and then this tank enemy kills you. On top of that, the steam out of the vents is taking your health down. So it's just essentially a bit of a nightmare. If you stay still, the enemies just will continue to spawn. And if you try and run through it, you'll just get overwhelmed by a massive spawn of enemies, and also you'll just get like slimed. But to make things worse, once you do finally take out all the enemies and turrets, you're met with the bottom of the staircase, you're met with two turrets, and you're not really sure where to go. The first time I did this, I just ran towards the door, and the turrets just like wiped me out. Thankfully, you do get this little wall you can hide behind. But what you actually have to do is, I accidentally blew up here, but there's a crate you need to blow up that lets you into this doorway. When I first played this, I didn't know. I got right down to here, and I got killed and I had to make the whole way back down again. So it's worth pointing out that I've got like 8 health kits because I've done this multiple times and I know how to get down the staircase. But a new player is going to probably use up the majority of their health on the way down. And now we have to deal with all these turrets. Now you'll see that these turrets are still activated, and the reason for that is when I was playing this time, I did it the way you should do it, which is you should just run into this room, shoot these boxes, and then run over here, and then switch the turrets off. But a new player isn't necessarily going to know that, so it's not easy to. You're probably the first time you'll just walk through this door and probably immediately die or lose a decent amount of your health, not understanding what to do. And all of these turrets can be turned off. So for example, this next room, we have 2 turrets, but if I go in here, I can turn one of them off. This one's still active, but I can run over here and turn it off here. This room's a bit different actually, because I think there's like 4 turrets. Let's see, so this one's shooting at me, the other one, if I run in here, turn it off here, these 2 are then active, and this door gets in the way badly. Yeah, it's really, this is just frustrating. It's just like there's a method to it, but oh yeah, and you have to restart if you don't have a good save point. I think that's part of the annoyance, is that if you didn't save at this bit, you need to go right back up the staircase and do it all again. Let me just turn these off again. Yeah, this next room, I think. Oh, there's actually a health crate there. So I was actually I was wrong about that. There is 1 health crate, so that will help a little bit. Maybe just like 3 more or something, like 2 or 3 more there. This room's weird. So let me just run in here. Like, you can't do it without taking any damage. And then these ones are shooting at me. So if I turn them off here, but that still leaves this one. Like, there's no switch that I know of that takes that far one out. So you have to just get creative here and maybe shoot it with a grenade or something. Seems to have a lot of health, these things. Like 3 grenades is a bit excessive, I think. What's next? So we get a couple more health packs here. I mean, if you do get to this point, you're probably going to be very low on health. Might even just be, after that was quite a difficult area, so it might just be worth putting like a health crate on the wall or something. So that was the way down the stairs, but honestly the way up the stairs is much worse. And it's because there's a sequence of 4 things that happen, and none of them you get health during it. So the first of the 4 things is there's a boss fight. So we need to fight this boss, and I mean the bosses in the game pretty much drain your health quite a bit. I was very lucky in the footage you see here. I killed him fairly quick. This is probably the best I've had, and even with that, I've only got like 4 health left. I don't know how he was able to. I was able to just like burn the floor, and it killed him way quicker than any time I've done this before. But after that, then you have to escape, and there's lots of these Arctic Marines. Head crabs, they just continually spawn. You know that this is just a bit of a nightmare here, so I just ran past most of it. If you tried to fight them, they'll just keep spawning. So but yeah, you've got no health, you've just beat a boss essentially, and now you have to escape back up the staircase, and this bit gets so frustrating. There's nothing you can do in some of these areas. Like, you take damage when things blow up, and some of the things are triggered by you walking towards them, so there's literally nothing you can do about taking damage. So if you get to this part with 1 health, I think it's actually technically impossible because of the amount of damage you take, but with the explosions. Some of them get triggered by, as I said, you walk into them, so I'll show you an example. I think it's this next corner. You can avoid some of it, but it's actually just annoying. You're kind of walking forward and back, and it's just frustrating. If you get caught in between an explosion, it'll just completely drain all your health. So this corner here, there's no way of getting up this hill without triggering this, and sometimes that takes tons of damage. There's a couple of enemies to fight at the very top as well, which can, you're kind of backing up as you're fighting them, and not these guys, but the actual the thing. You back up, and sometimes you're backing up into vents. The steam vents, and then the steam's taking health out. So it's kind of like you either push forward and get damage from the things, or you fall back and get damage from the vents, and it just basically slowly eats away at your health with no health crates in sight. I'm just going to skip forward here. Oh, and if you die here as well, you restart at the bottom of the staircase, and you only have like whatever health you had whenever you went into this area. So like you would potentially have 1 health crate, and it's just, I don't think it's enough. I don't think 1 health pack is going to get you through this next sequence of events. There's a lot that happens from this staircase. I think that's the bit that's frustrating. It's like it just gives you 4 really hard things at once. So the first 2 we've got is the boss, the staircase. As a side note, can we fix these boxes? It's just frustrating to get up onto these. I don't know, the collision's messed up or something. It's just really awkward to get on top of these boxes. So this is the third of the 4 really nightmarish things that you need to do. There's 4 tank enemies here. They take a lot of damage. Thankfully, there's no projectile ammo. They don't shoot any projectiles at you, so you can just kind of fall back. But yeah, there's 4 of them, and they're just blocking your path. You can't run past them because they take up the whole size of the path. And you're going to be very low in health at this point, remember, because you just fought a boss. You just climbed up a really awkward staircase, and you have to fight 4 of these guys. I tried to grenade them here, and they got too close, and I fired a grenade, and it blew up in my face, and I died. But I think actually I didn't have enough bullets other than the grenades, and look where it starts me back right at the bottom. I think I used up a lot of my bullets, so I kind of had to use grenades. So the only way I actually did this part was completely cheesed it and just like hid inside the vent. I don't know if that was like what you're supposed to do, but it's not very immersive. I'm just kind of cheesing it here and just waiting for them to come to the vent and burning them. Yeah, so that's what I end up doing. After these guys were dead, I was absolutely desperate for health. I was like, maybe there's some in this office, because I think there was some in this office on the way into the stairwell, but I don't know, the items all despawn. I did see a cluster of items over to the right, and I was like, oh great, there must be some health amongst this, but it was just ammo. which wasn't good. But then at least I got ammo, because this is the next part, is the fourth part, which makes it difficult, and that's the Arctic Marines. Again, I was looking in here for some health. Like a couple of health crates here would probably be all you would need to just make this difficulty so much less. You have to fight about, I don't know, like 15, 20 Arctic Marines to get the next health crate. I'm taking them out with a sniper rifle. At least it gives you some sniper ammo if you still have your sniper rifle, that is. But if you get close to them, they can drain your health quite fast with their machine guns. And the only place I actually did end up finding health was in like a hidden cave we'll see later. So I do my best to take out these guys before they can get a shot on me. See the amount of them? There's like 4 around that corner. So yeah, there's so many of them. It's insane how, like, at this point you've just been through so much, I think, and to give you all of these enemies, it's just a little bit frustrating. I mean, if they were going for like real difficulty, then great. I thought that was a health pack, but it was just ammo. I was running back trying to get it, and then I noticed this little cave, and I was like, there must be some health in here, but I crouched in. It took so long to get in that I died. If you die here, you just respawn back at the entrance, or like the elevator. So. And just to show this part's not easy, and again, I have no health at this point either. I'm trying to take these guys out as best I can. I don't even know what happened there. I just died again, but yeah, the enemies can drain your health very quickly. So in this footage, I'll just show you I do finally get some health. I just completely cleared out the area as best I could this time before going into the cave. And there's 3 health packs here, but just bear in mind, 4. This is the first time we get health after that really grueling sequence. And by this stage, like, you're probably going to be super, like, look how low I was. So I ended up using 2 of them right off the bat. And this isn't the end of the sequence either. There's still like a decent bit of the sort of wilderness snow bit to make your way through, and more guards to kill. But yeah, I think that is probably the hardest section in the game, and I honestly think a lot of people would quit the game at that part, because any one of those 4 parts is enough to just get you so frustrated that you just wouldn't play the game anymore. So that's my opinions on why the thing is so difficult, especially towards the end of the game. I mean, I don't mind that it's difficult. It's just, I suppose if we could just try and take the frustration out of it a wee bit, that would probably, I think people would appreciate that.